Meghan Markle has the worst judgment of anyone in the entire world. Meghan Markle is flawless at getting it all wrong. All of her ideas are total crap. Prince Harry is a lamb to the slaughter who just sort of blindly followed her like a child. These withering remarks are all direct quotes, and surely the most devastating charges the Duke and Duchess of Netflix will ever have levelled against them. So, who is responsible for this wounding volley of stunningly derogatory put-downs? Step forward none other than respected editor and royal author Tina Brown, a close friend of Harry's late great mother, Princess Diana. It's not often that I'll concede I couldn't have put it better myself, but here goes. I couldn't have put it better myself. With her harsh but undeniably accurate assessment of a couple who promised so much but achieved so little, straight-talking Tina has hit the nail punishingly on the head. Everything their Montecito Majesties have done has gone wrong. Even Megxit, their undignified dash for so-called freedom, was horribly mishandled, suddenly quitting Britain, sloping off to Canada like a pair of furtive fugitives on the run, and turning what should have been a manageable drama into a major crisis. Former Vanity Fair Supremo Brown, whose royal books The Diana Chronicles and The Palace Papers Inside the House of Windsor, The Truth and the Turmoil, were instant bestsellers. Also dismissed Harry as a very impetuous man who courtiers always thought would reject the straitjacket of royalty. And she condemned his post-royal life as a disaster all round. It's hard to argue with any of Miss Brown's observations, and it feeds into what I've always said all along, that the oft-stated view that Meghan is dazzlingly brilliant and poor Harry is as dim as a broken light bulb is as unfair as it is untrue. Sure, it's only too painfully obvious that the less-than-academic prince is no Einstein. But here's the deal. Nor is Meghan. Seems to me the former game show hostess isn't much brighter than her thick husband. And therein lies the problem. She's not very clever, but she sure as hell calls the shots. And he does what he's told. Sadly, events have proved that, as Tina Brown so eruditely declared, all of Meghan's ideas are indeed total crap. The massive multi-million-dollar deals she and Harry sealed with Spotify and Netflix were impressive. But Meg's pathetically poor podcast series Archetypes was a nauseatingly worthy crime against entertainment. So tedious it hurt. Hence, Spotify cancelled their $20 million contract PDQ, with one boss calling the Duke and Duchess shameless effing grifters. And as for the $100 million the Sussexes got from Netflix, after they'd finished insulting the royal family, calling them racists, and accusing bemused Brits of feasting on the evil profits of slavery, their creative reserves ran hopelessly dry. And since then, it's been downhill all the way. No one cares about Harry's upcoming horse programme that in December will treat Netflix viewers to everything they never wanted to know about Chinless Wonders sport polo. And the streaming giant's bosses are so excited about Meghan's cooking show, they haven't even scheduled it. And don't get me started on the Duchess's alleged money-making machine lifestyle site, American Riviera Orchard. Why should I start when it hasn't? Launched in a blaze of publicity 8 months ago and now mired in a mess of legal wrangling, it still isn't open for business. So if you're looking for an overpriced beige towel, you're out of luck. Meanwhile, the book they bought the film rights to remains just a book. As their decline and fall into an empty kind of nothingness continues apace, the dismal duo are delivering a textbook lesson in how to get it all flawlessly wrong. Relentlessly on and on their failure goes. Where they're heading, nobody knows. I mean, where are they heading, Samara? God knows. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, they're not doing anything. Everything they've done has failed. And, you know, in those few sentences, Tina Brown, you know, a respected author, former editor of Vanity Fair, has nailed it. They're a disaster, these two. Everything they've done has failed. And as she quite rightly says, Meghan's ideas are just seriously crap, aren't they?
The wedding was a failure. She was accused of being, from the onset, she was accused of being a bridezilla. She bullied Kensington Palace people. She invited celebrities that she had never met before, like George Clooney, over family members like her father and her sister.
That's true.
She had a crack at being a royal. That lasted less than a year. She left everyone upset, right. And the Queen, especially when she left the royal family, they famously only gave the Queen about half an hour to process the news when they did so. She messed that up. Her 40 times 40 initiative that she did on her 40th, on her 40th birthday. Everyone who was involved in that, all those poor women that wanted another start at work life, they actually haven't been contacted by Archewell in years. The page hasn't been updated since 2021 when it was launched. Archewell, 20 employees and over have walked out the door, majority of those being women. Majority of those being women. She's not exactly the supporter of women that she claims to be. The interview with Oprah, that over 30 lies and mistakes in it. The podcast she launched with Spotify, obviously, dropped after one season. And then obviously, jam. There's no jam. There's no jam at all, unless she's fermenting it or it's some bloody bottle of wine. I don't know what's going on there. So that's just a couple of failures.
Simon, do you fancy going down to the pub? I don't think we need to be.
Sorry.
No, absolutely brilliant. Here's the thing, Simon. The most interesting of those put-downs from Tina Brown, I thought, was all of her ideas are total crap.
Yeah.
She's a lamb to the... I mean, he's a lamb to the slaughter, but she's a lamb to the slaughter in the punishingly commercial world of Hollywood. You have to have better ideas than, let's talk to women about stereotypes. Worthy and boring. You have to have better ideas than buying the rights to a rather dreary middle-class book called Meet Me at the Lake. You have to do better than this. She doesn't really know what she's doing. Harry, we can excuse for having no commercial sense whatsoever. He doesn't come from the commercial world. She ought to know better, but she just doesn't. So what I was saying, and I stand by it, we know he's dim, very dim, but so's she.
Yeah, look, as an entrepreneur, and that's what she's trying to be, entrepreneurs famously try a lot of ideas and a lot of them don't work. I mean, that's...
But it goes a bit wrong when all of them don't work.
Can you name one idea that's worked out for her?
Well, I would say...
One success.
I would say that Seats has worked out for her.
Come on, that's not her idea.
I would have said that...
That's just a two-bit actress landing a role in a cable series.
I would say as well...
You can't... she's an OK actress. She was in an OK series. That's not down to her. What about her ideas?
OK, so being an actress is what I mean. Being an actress has worked out for her. Why doesn't she go back to doing that?
OK, yeah, agreed.
Okay, I would say that. That's what I mean. But I would also say as well that Tina Brown, highly respected woman, highly respected journalist and editor. But, you know, you go and sort of look at places that she's worked. She was described once by one of...
We're going to slag Tina off, are we?
Not under my watch.
Quite a good career, I think.
Not under my watch.
We're not going to slag her off. I'm just going to say it is very easy to cherry pick from people and sort of say she's described famously as Stalin in high heels. What was Meghan described as the other day? Tina Brown's been called Stalin in high heels.
Well,
Tina Brown also got into, metaphorically, got into bed with the Weinstein brothers.
Let's not attack Tina Brown.
The Weinstein brothers.
Look,
no, let me finish this. Let me make this point.
This is a shit way of
with the Weinstein brothers
this debate.
and set up a book publishing company. Why, as a journalist, did she not spot the signs about Harvey Weinstein? That's just all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I don't think... I just think...
It's very easy
but don't undermine Tina Brown. She's had an amazing career.
I'm not undermining her. I'm saying...
More to the bloody point, she's very close to the royal family. She knows the royals. She was very close friends with Princess Diana, Harry's mother. It's very pertinent and very relevant that she has chosen to say...
OK, so I just want to go back to the point that you made then. Entrepreneurs, when you try something, when you try to be entrepreneurial... Many of your ideas won't work.
I agree with that.
Many of your ideas won't work.
None
of her ideas work.
the moment, she's not being very lucky. Let's say that.
Lucky, not being very. You make your own luck, mate.
No, you
and,
don't. No, you don't. Look. I mean, look. Trump Airlines, Trump Beverages.
No, stop it!
Trump University,
Stop
Trump
it!
Cigars, Trump Meat.
Oh my God!
When you're
Call
an
for the men in
entrepreneur-
wine coats.
when
Trump
you're
derangement syndrome.
away.
Serious case.
When you're an entrepreneur, not all your ideas work. That's all I'm saying. I'm making that point.
Yeah, and a very good point it is too. However, as an entrepreneur, you do need some of your ideas to work, or even maybe just one. None of her ideas have worked. And Tina Brown is exactly right, Samara, that her ideas are total crap. Your archetypes, no one, let's talk about the stereotypes of women. As I said in my monologue, so nauseatingly wordy.
Yeah.
The idea isn't.
Yeah,
the
but
idea.
wait,
The idea
but
isn't.
it
The idea
needs-
isn't bad.
Simon.
It's badly
It's
executed.
not.
Badly executed.
I
That's
sort
not
of
a
accept
bad
that.
That's not a bad idea for as a podcast.
It wasn't a dreadful idea, but
No.
she hasn't got the wherewithal,
No, I
or
admit that.
I say the intelligence to carry it off.
The frustration comes from the fact that when I think about an entrepreneur, I think about someone starting from the ground up, pushing through adversity and making success of themselves. She got everything served to her on a literal golden platter when she left the royal family. She could have done quite literally anything and been pretty successful at it.
No,
But
I don't believe that's
She
true.
took those opportunities and she just slashed them. She just made really bad calls. She didn't read the room. And it is true, she was probably surrounded by a bunch of yes people who, oh yes, Meghan, that's a great idea. Let's make some
You've got to
jam.
say yes to Meghan.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Talk about
Otherwise, she'll
Stalin
make
in
your
high
life
heels.
hell.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, Simon, that therein lies another problem. She's clearly a very irascible type of character who is very hard to work for. Yeah. She has totally crap ideas. And my guess is that these people who've left her employ have actually dared to say, I think that might be a bit of a crap idea. Right, then get out of here.
Okay, so I would disagree with that. I think that actually her ideas aren't that bad. I think I think they are badly executed. You would do a Netflix series. The Archetypes podcast isn't a bad idea. Doing a lifestyle, if you look at Gwyneth Paltrow's Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop site, American Riviera, Riviera, a lifestyle site should work. What we have to ask, the questions that we have to ask is, why is she failing? Why is she not getting the right people around her to help her? And when she does, why are they disappearing? And I feel that is a problem.
Well, Gwyneth Paltrow is a very popular, very intelligent, famous actress, and she's made Goop work. Meghan's not very popular, bit of a two-bit actress, and American Riviera Orchard. To say it doesn't work is the understatement of this.
It's not been launched yet.
Yeah, well, yes, it has, mate. It was launched in March, but it's not open for business.
Well, so it's not open for business.
Enough. You have some messages from the audience about
Gwyneth
Meghan.
Paltrow is Gwyneth Paltrow. She wasn't a briefcase actress on No Deal.
No. Nepo baby, though.
All right.
Nepo baby.
It's too late for Meghan to become a Tinseltown mover and shaker. Her sell-by date is looming. That's from Jeanette, one of our lovely viewers.
It's true. She's blown her chance to be a Tinseltown mover and shaker. Because, we know about all the stories in the Hollywood.
So wait,
but also, I know about Hollywood. I lived there. The aura of failure is a cancer in Hollywood, and she is surrounded, she is consumed by an aura of failure, and therefore nobody's going to open the door to her. That's the problem.
She'll have to pivot and do something else, won't she? I mean, that's what
she will have to pivot. I agree with that.
That's what good entrepreneurs do. And so we have to wait and see what the next thing is, and will she be able to execute?
How about this, Meghan? If you're watching it, try
she's bound to be watching.
Let's get your level right.
She is bound to be watching.
A family watch. So I've got an idea. Let's try and get your level, Meghan. Become a cleaning lady. Yeah!
What's wrong with being a cleaning lady?
There's nothing wrong with
Snob?
it. No, I didn't say there was anything wrong. I just think that Meghan would be good at it.
But you said find a level.
That is
Snob.
That's her level.
Okay.
What's wrong? I'm not being snobbish about it.
You are.
I am not.
You are.
I think Meghan would be a great...
Time for a bad ad.
No, it's not actually. It's time for more off.
MAGA
Time for
Muffin.
more messages.
MAGA Muffin says something really interesting. Harry has had to suffer with Meghan for so long he needed a vacation. I don't remember any time since they have been married of them doing fun things. Harry went surfing. Meghan chose to crash the red carpet to get some publicity. Very different styles of fun. Yeah, that's
Interesting that. Two things. One is the person is called MAGA Muffin, and the second thing is they say, I don't remember any time since they've been married of them doing fun stuff. Well,
No,
how the hell would they know?
I
How the
don't
hell
either.
would they know?
Actually,
How the
that's
hell
not
would
fair.
MAGA Muffin know?
Actually, that's not
mental.
fair.
Mental Muffin.
Harry had a lot of fun surfing on his own.
that
Apart
happens
from
back
that, I
to-
don't think they've had a fun day in their entire marriage.
Exactly.
I bet you enjoy surfing on your own.
Huh?
Yes, and also that harkens back to what Tina Brown said about Harry being a really good royal. He was a lot of fun when he was part of the royal family. He was very beloved.
What we got there?
Ginger has said, we know
Read
her...
the messages. You keep delivering your own messages first.
I know, sorry guys.
Let's give
Cut
the
that all out.
audience their platform.
No. Ginger has said, we know Her Majesty did not approve of Harry and Meghan naming their child Lilibet. Who would use an innocent baby to spit in the eye of the Queen?
How do we know that?
I like that.
How do we know that?
Listen.
Okay.
It was a serious story.
Okay.
The Queen was very upset by that, very furious, and she told her inner circle. This is an accurate report. She said, being the Queen, she said, you really don't have anything. She says, you live in palaces, you travel the world, but you don't really have anything yourself. She said, one of my only personal possessions was my name, my childhood name, and those two have stolen it
But
from
do you
me.
think?
They've taken even that
Okay,
from
but
me.
do you think?
Lilibet.
But do you think using that name? Do you think sort of naming your daughter after your beloved grandmother? Just looking at it from another side, is that really a nasty, horrible, spiteful
Well, it
thing?
is if you don't ask her.
Well,
They
you
didn't-
have to ask her.
they-
They obviously thought it would be an honourable
She was
thing
very
to do.
upset.
Yeah, but they obviously thought
Honourable.
they didn't sit there and go, "How can we piss off the Queen?" I know.
No,
Let's call our baby after her childhood name.
I reckon
Queen.
that's exactly the way Meghan.
Please,
Yeah,
get a
Those
life.
two.
Come on.
Megan is on a campaign to...
No, of course they
Listen,
did.
I haven't finished.
Why would they
Shut
do
up,
that?
Shut up.
Why would they do
Meghan
that?
is on a campaign to destroy the royal family, and that was all part of it. You got another message? And don't come up with one of your own first.
Okay. Selena has said, I think she's done with Harry. She's over it. Harry, the passion is gone. And don't forget that she was never pregnant and she went along with it.
And he went along with it.
That's
So
it.
He went
this
along.
is another conspiracy theory about her not having kids. These people are unhinged. We're reading out messages from conspiracy
Calling out lovely
theorists.
viewers unhinged.
Well,
really, Simon?
no, I'm
Okay.
calling the people who write she was never pregnant. They've got kids, right? We're reading out messages from flat earthers and chemtrail people.
I personally would say that she has been pregnant and she has had 2 children, but I respect the views and the opinions of our audience if they differ from mine, because I'm a Democrat. When I say that, small d.
Yeah, but you're something else with a massive C.
Yeah. Oh, yes, indeed. Very funny.
Conservative.
Right, we've got a bad ad.
Hi, poppy seed loaf, please.
Poppy seed, where is it?
Poppy seed, over there.
What? Oh, poppy seeds are black. Idiots.
Oh, can I get that slice? Thick.
Sliced. What did she say? It's okay, I can do it. Oh shit, that's thin.
Blimey. Dear. Is that another one of those New Zealand ones?
Australian.
Australian. What goes on in your hemisphere?
Yeah, I actually sent that to the producers because
Because it's happened to you.
I actually, when I watched that when I was 6 years old, I got actually traumatized.
When you were 6 years old?
Yeah.
Mum and Dad of the year?
I know.
Jeez.
Yeah, I actually...
We're talking about a long time ago then, yeah, right?
Yeah, long time ago.
Must be over it by now.
So
that is traumatic,
4 years
though.
ago.
So what's the message? Don't buy bread in Australia? What's it advertising?
Well, if you're serving in a baker's shop, don't put your fingers in the slicer. Oh, that's the watchword there. Time for a real break. What just happened? These
Mad as hell, it's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Oh, welcome back to What Just Happened. I'm Kevin O'Sullivan, but you knew that. My decision is that the big moment of the week was McDonald Trump. Take a look at this.
I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again. Thank you. Look at that. Mr. Look at that. How are you? Thank you, Mr. President. Nice to see you.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much for everything you're doing.
I can see.
Piers Morgan hailed that stunt as the stunt that will win him the election. And he's definitely got the feel-good factor now, and he's surging ahead. Meanwhile, this video has emerged of Kamala Harris. It was posted on Twitter by the actor James Wood, who sort of said, what the hell is she on? Now, have a look at this. It's kind of strange.
Mommy, you know, the thing about this, I always wanted to go to Howard, and I went to Howard. And actually, it was in February of 2004. Olives with cream cheese on dark rye. And so, you know, hey, Rand, how you people doing with it? Good? You know? I've taught him how to chop the onions. Oh, honey, baby, what happened? I'll take care of you. They are in California now, but New Jersey is very much in them. Television. Mike, look at her.
God, what you make of that, for God's sake?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty dumbfounded. I'm actually a bit scared watching that video. I can't imagine. Can you imagine that woman talking to Vladimir Putin? Can you?
Yeah, well no.
Well, we don't have to imagine Trump talking to him. He talks to him behind closed doors.
It does show up the fact that when she laughs, it's just like an empty cackle. There's no joy in her, like... It's really disconcerting, don't you think, Simon?
No, I don't.
I didn't think you would.
And the audience laughing along with her. Laughter's infectious, and I think that sort of cherry picking a few events. Yeah, she laughs a bit maniacally, but then
thank you.
We've
cackling. That's what she's doing.
We've seen montages of Trump cut to be sort of very unflattering as well. So you can pretty much do anything in an edit. I will give you though that him working at McDonald's was a masterstroke, great stunt, and I don't know whether I agree with Piers that it will win him the election, but it was very well executed. The fact that McDonald's is now suffering from E. coli, I'm sure the two things are not
connected. Here's more of McDonald Trump putting his shift in. Would you like lies with that?
Mr. President, you actually have worked at McDonald's now versus...
Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Are you going to put this on your resume?
I never worked here.
Why would she lie about something like that? Will it be put on your resume?
I worked at McDonald's.
Why would she lie about that?
Why? Because she's lying, Kamala.
I like the way he says, Kamala.
Yeah, I mean, it exposes a lot of lies. And there's one friend in her campaign that said that she's worked there, and that's about it. And it's like, if you asked a friend to do something for her, of course they're going to say that. There's no backup at all. It's not on any records.
McDonald's has become
a great leveler, hasn't it?
It's become the sort of battleground for these.
What is interesting though is, I mean, it's become massively tribal. I mean, we all remember that when Trump was president, I think could have been the New York Post or Washington Post had worked out that he told something like 30 lies a day or whatever. And if you want to look through the prism of the other side will always declare that the opponent is lying or making stuff up. And I think you're right. I am much more muted in my tone about whether or not Kamala is going to win. I think she will win, but I know that it is incredibly tight now. But I don't. But I do think there's very few things that make people.
A week ago, she couldn't lose. Now it's very tight.
I do think there are very few. I do think there are very few things that make people, once they've made up their minds of who they're going to vote for, change their minds.
This is the problem, I think, is for Kamala. Election campaigns, electoral campaigns are all about momentum. And actually, hitting your stride at the right time. She was a month ago, pretty phenomenal, and she's gone right off the boil. Donald Trump's gone in the other direction, and with the McDonald stunt, and just generally, he is delivering the feel-good factor. And I think he's in the home straight, and he's going to win. I think he is the stock exchanges around the world, the money markets, all the hedge funders, they're all shorting on a Trump victory. All the betting companies are putting him as the hot favourite. He is surging ahead. Well, not surging ahead, but he's going ahead in the polls in the swing states. Her campaign is faltering at the wrong moment. You got some more questions and messages? Or questions, isn't it?
Should Kamala Harris apologise for comparing Trump to Hitler? It's an interesting one.
No, I don't think she should apologise, because it's just sheer crap, isn't it? It's a demonstration of her desperation. That she's so desperate. She's now saying, like Adolf Hitler. I mean, nobody is taking it seriously. In fact, a lot of Democrats are very angry with her that she's stooping to this level. He's not Adolf Hitler, as she calls him. It's a ridiculous thing to say. If that's all you've got left in your armoury, calling him names, you really are Harris.
However, though, there are sort of worrying similarities between things that Trump has said and done.
Yeah. I mean, you try it, Simon. It's desperado stuff.
It's not.
Okay, say it. He's definitely a fascist. Sky News last week, they sort of acted like, oh look, we're just standing outside the New York Times office here in Manhattan. Oh look, there's Bob Woodward. Mr. Woodward, would you say that Donald Trump is a fascist? Yes, I do. He really does meet all the qualifications.
But he sort of does.
It's bullshit.
But he sort of does. I'm not saying
I don't even care.
I'm not saying he's a genocide. I'm not saying he's a genocidal maniac like Hitler. But there are some worrying similarities between things he's said and things he's done.
Anyway, next question.
Kamala Harris's husband has been accused of hitting his ex-girlfriend by multiple witnesses. Will this ruin her chances of winning?
No, I don't think it will. The sins of the father, the sins of the husband shouldn't be visited on her. I mean, she could do with a slightly more palatable spouse going into the election, but that's not her fault. That's not.
Yeah, and Trump has been accused of sexual assault and also raping his ex-wife Ivana, and that doesn't seem to have affected him at all.
Yeah, exactly right. It hasn't affected him because he's going to win. Time for a bad ad.
What do I do now?
Josh, have you moved that pot of stock yet?
Pot? It can't be that big, Mother. It's massive. Gloves. They're wet. Oh, yuck. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, it's hot. Oh, it's...
Oh my God! Oh God!
Jesus.
Can we go back to funny ads, please? This is getting very traumatic.
It's just awful. Is that
like
Australia
a
as well?
horror show. More from Australia. What's wrong with you people and these adverts? Is that do you lot spend all your time sort of hurling boiling fat all over it?
Is it not enough to steal a country from the indigenous population?
Oh, God.
You have to scare them. You have to scare them with constant ads.
Are you sort of an accident-prone bunch of convicts? Is that your problem?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, you're not all convicts, not all of you. Right, let's go to a real one. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back to What Just Happened. Simon London is still here, unfortunately, and so is Samara Gill. And you've got some more questions?
Yeah, this has been in the news a lot this week.
We should call this programme Question Time, or has that been done already?
May have been
Question Time on the BBC. What a pile of shit that is. Anyway, just a random observation there.
Never heard of it. Is Chris Kaba the UK's George Floyd?
I don't think there is a similarity in the fact that George Floyd was murdered in cold blood by the police when he didn't really... when he wasn't really... he didn't
deserve to die like that.
He didn't deserve to die like that, and he wasn't a massive threat to the police who had pinned him down and the one who knelt on his neck and murdered him. Chris Kaba, I'm sorry, I have to agree with Kev that in that split second that you're asking police to make that choice and knowing what we know about him now and knowing what the police probably knew about him now, he was a man who had a history of violence and just weeks before had taken out a gun in a crowded nightclub and also, I believe, had shot in front of a school. So this was a man who's prepared to use...
He shot one guy in both knees.
This was a man who's prepared to use firearms when other people are around and arguably is a danger to other people. I don't think that it's kind of... I don't think it does anybody any good to kind of put on these silly voices and talk about stuff when people are being sadly killed or murdered. And I do think that Chris Kaba does not represent the upstanding black community that I see myself to be a part of. But like comparing him to George Floyd is neither.
I think there are similarities.
No, it's neither correct nor helpful. I do not believe that people will be marching or George Kaba will inspire or be the catalyst for a global movement.
Yeah, absolutely right. Just so as the viewers in America and Australia and Canada know, what happened was Kaba was driving through South London and the police pulled him up because he was driving a car that was suspected of being involved in 2 previous shootings. Turns out he had a balaclava in the glove compartment because it was obviously very cold and he had shooting residue all over his body. But that wasn't the point. They pulled him up and he tried to ram the car and he kept ramming the police and the police, felt threatened and Sergeant Blake got out his gun and shot him dead with 1 bullet. I don't celebrate his death. I feel sorry for his friends and his family, but he deserved to die. He deserved to die. Sergeant Blake did the right thing. You have another question about Chris Kaba?
I don't think he deserved to die.
Yes, he did.
I don't think he deserved to die. He
almost killed police officers.
He literally ran.
No. You have another question about Chris
Didn't
Kaba?
really have time to do accurate shooting.
It's the beating up his pregnant girlfriend.
Hey, listen, I'm not sitting here saying that he's a saint or anything.
What a
but he deserved, in that moment, he needed to be apprehended and stopped, and he deserved to be shot.
I don't celebrate anyone's death. I agree with that.
Sadiq Khan, Jeremy Corbyn, and Diane Abbott, otherwise known as my nightmare dinner party guests,
that would be a terrible dinner party, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
With Samara putting her hand in the bread machine.
If I had those 3 round for dinner, there would be another death, my suicide. But go on.
Have been asked to apologise for supporting the gangster Chris Kaba. Should they say sorry?
Yeah, these are, again, for our audience around the world, these are 3 veteran lefties, including the London Mayor, Sadiq Khan, Diane Abbott, a veteran Labour MP, and Jeremy Corbyn, who used to be the leader of the Labour MP, Britain's top bore, old dinosaur that he is. They all said, evil, racist police. These people, they should apologise. They won't, but they should. They are shameless race baiters. It's terrible. Don't you think? The death of Chris Kaba, which we don't celebrate, had nothing to do with his race.
Look, I've always said...
It didn't.
I've always said...
They didn't even know who was in the car.
Yeah.
I've always said that the problem with the right is the right tend to be kind of...
Right.
The right tend to be...
They're not called right for nothing, you know.
The right tend to be the knee-jerk, yeah, he deserved it, send him back, blah, blah, blah. And the problem with the left is let's look into why the person did this and let's try and understand why they did this. I think that when somebody does something wrong or something bad happens, both sides need to hold up their hands and go, this is a bad thing and we don't do bad stuff before we get into bring our own politics and our own emotions into it. And I think that what has happened here is these 3 people who are, as you say, on the left and very much... This is very much a trait of theirs.
Race baiters.
Everybody needs to hold on, find out what the facts are, and then start giving their
Exactly right. They grabbed hold of it, didn't they, Samara?
Yeah, you don't make somebody a cause celeb without knowing what all the facts are.
Exactly right. They grabbed hold of it. Old black guy gets shot by a copper. He's the victim of police racism and all that. A society that doesn't care and looks down on the black community, which I don't think the British society does at all. And we didn't know the facts until Sergeant Blake was acquitted, found not guilty of murder, unlike over in America with George Floyd. So he was found not guilty. Then we were finally allowed to know the facts about Chris Kaba, and these people had said he's the victim of police racism. I mean, they should have apologised.
Yeah, I have a twin.
Let's Samara talk.
But Simon, your assessment of the left is completely wrong. The left is very far from analytical. In fact, in this situation, they see black man and white police officer, and then the vigils start.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and Sadiq Khan comes out and saying, what a racist society we are, basically, between lines. No, the left is basically the opposite. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't. Sorry, Samara, I didn't say that. No, what I meant is the left tend to look at stuff and go, "Oh, we need to see. We need." They're emotional. Yeah. They look at it and go, "No, we need to understand why this happened."
Yeah, but they shouldn't have been. They should apologise, but they won't.
It's my son.
It's time for a bad ad.
I can't take my eyes off you.
God!
The faster the speed, the bigger the mess. From the Road Safety Authority, supported by Hibernian.
Scotland.
Oh, my word.
Can we go back to funny ads? Why are we suddenly... the producer's just telling me, I promise you, folks, no more of this horror show. Anyway, don't sit on a fence in Hibernia in case a car hits you. What are you supposed to say about that? I mean, what is it... how are you supposed to avoid that? Ridiculous. Let's go to a real break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back to What Just Happened. It's time now for the complaints department. You know what I'm going to say? This is all based on the messages that you very kindly send in. And once again, I'm going to express my gratitude. Thank you very much. We get thousands. It's what makes the show tick. And we appreciate it very much. So let's have a look at a selection of them, shall we?
So Sophie says, I don't think Simon believes anything he says. His body gives himself away. Interesting. Sophie's onto it.
I don't mean... It's all right, he's an actor. When we finish this show, we go outside and he's a real fascist. He makes Donald Trump look like a communist.
Oh, so you admit Donald Trump's a fascist then? Nothing.
No, that doesn't say that.
Nunya says, I love Simon. He's grounded, unbiased, stands for his own opinion and can take crap from opposing views, respectful or disrespectful. Simon is a very cool guy, and I appreciate his presence on the show. Thank you, Nunya.
Nunya, are you okay? You all right? Simon London we're talking about here.
That's right.
Thank you for the message. Nevertheless, what else have we got?
Crystal says, this is my favourite programme. I wish it was on more often. Oh, that's lovely.
Well, you never know, Crystal. We'll do our best. Daily, what just happened? But what about renaming it? What the just happened? That's what we say at the end of the show every week. What you got, Simon?
Laura Stevens, Simon, Kamala is a wit and as simple as you. Down under, it's Trump all the way. Go MAGA. Time you listen to your intellectual peers beside you. Sorry, mate. Us Aussies say it as it is.
Yeah, well, I like that. And that's from...
Laura Stevens.
Laura Stevens, for the second time in this show, I'm going to concede I couldn't have put it better myself. My God.
Absolutely.
I'm actually admitting that people are better than me. How about that? What you got, Samara?
Inside Voice says, I like Simon and I appreciate his differing views. However, today he went too far. I think I like how he's a foil to Kevin, but he went too far today. Can someone word this properly? Fairly certain he knows that the comment is going to age badly on Trump and Diddy. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I said about...
What did you say about Trump and Diddy?
I said that...
there were two peas in the same pod.
Most uneducated black people would vote
racist.
And also that Diddy was kept in prison over Trump, even though Trump has probably done more crimes.
Sean P. Diddy denies all the allegations against him. We've got to
I Teach GT says, what is this guy's name? Simon? Yeah, you know my name, you idiot.
Simple.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
He's
nice.
calling
You
me
call
an
our
idiot.
audience idiot.
He's calling me an idiot.
Well, you are a idiot.
What is this guy's name? Simon. He's an idiot. He has no idea what people think over here in the US. The educated are voted for him. Well done. He's educated but can't spell. Well educated with morals. And remind him Trump is yet to be found guilty. He was found guilty. Ever heard of the witch trials? Yes, I have. Have you heard how to spell, mate?
Talking of the witch trials, old Kamala with her cackle, you know, she should go around on a broomstick, shouldn't she?
Yeah, off to Salem. Goodness Prevails has said, I believe Simon is Harry's brother of a different colour from another mother. He always looks miserable, just like Harry does in almost every picture. He defends the indefensible just like Harry. I feel very sorry for people like him who are obviously so miserable. Please stop trying to make the rest of us unhappy.
And who's that from?
Goodness Prevails.
And Goodness Prevails. And Simon, are you Harry's brother from another mother?
I certainly am. Certainly am.
That explains everything.
Bev Osborne says, keep it coming, Kev, with lots of smiley faces. From Australia, you three guys get on so well, even when you're supposedly on different sides. Love from Oz, your country cousins.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And we are friends. That's a lie. No, we do get on well. But I think, let me be serious for a second. This world will be a better place. Listen to me, I sound like a vicar or something. This world will be a better place if everybody could learn to disagree agreeably. You know, just because you don't have the same worldview, you don't have the same opinions. What's happened in the world is that if, you know, people disagree with each other, they hate each other and start calling each other names, declaring war on each other. So it's true. Me and Simon, we've been friends for a long time, actually, but I don't agree with a single word he ever says because he's a moron. What have you got, Samara?
And it was going so well. For a moment there, I was like, oh, my God, is he going to suddenly start talking about Jesus?
Yeah, God's going to foster world peace.
I found God, everyone. He's under here, I think.
Kirsten has said, someone who is clearly as uneducated and dense as Simon calling other people stupid for their political views is not only insulting but reveals Simon's absolute stupidity. I have never witnessed anything intelligent nor ever uttered from Simon's mouth. He just spouts nonsense and he lacks any critical reason thought.
I agree with every word of that, and I do find it very, very annoying when lefties sort of say that people who have right-wing opinions must be unintelligent.
I didn't. I said people who vote for Trump, and then I went and found.
Well, even that's
I went
not.
And found
that's
and
not
84% of people who vote for Democrats in the black community have a college degree, which means that 16%.
That's not.
That means that the majority are not university educated, and that's what I said.
You're saying people who vote for Trump are not.
You asked me a question last week, and I answered it using facts, reason, and evidence. Just because people don't like the answer...
you can't say... that's a percentage from the black community.
Yes.
You can't say... and by the way, an education, a college degree, doesn't necessarily mean you're brilliant, and not having a college degree certainly doesn't mean you're stupid.
But I answered the question I was asked.
A lot of very intelligent people don't go to university and don't necessarily qualify academically, but they're very intelligent.
Indeed,
so
I agree with that.
I think that's wrong, and it's absolutely insulting and just wrong to say that people who vote for Trump are unintelligent.
It's not wrong if it's evidence-based, is it? I mean, I'm just giving you the evidence.
Are you saying that everyone who votes for Trump is unintelligent?
I did not say
Is that what you're saying?
I did not say that.
You're going to diss 60 million people.
The question I was asked is, why do I think that more people in the black community are voting for Trump? And I said...
Because they're the thick ones, that's what you meant.
I said... I think that that Trump is populism is appeals to the more uneducated black voter. Then we looked it up, and I was found to be right by the evidence. But the evidence bears that out.
I think that's just a load of old shit.
Yeah, but it's evidence based. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm very attracted to populism.
The Earth is round. You may think it's shit, but it's just.
I'm educated.
The Earth is round.
I know it doesn't show, but I'm a supporter of Trump. So what do you got?
But you're not black, Kevin. I know it doesn't show, but you're not black.
Let me just check.
So the question doesn't apply to you.
He's right! Now you tell me.
Whoa. One fact came out of Simon's mouth. Armand has said Simon is the only intelligent commentator on this show. I assume that the show is a comedy because other than Simon, the comments are so stupid. All right, Armand.
That is true. You guys just say anything, and then I come back and I say something with evidence, and you just laugh at me.
That Simon London, the evidence-based village idiot. What have you got, Simon?
But anyway, Dr. Jackie Quiche says, stunning how bigoted this man is, as he suggested that only dumb people vote for Trump.
Yeah.
LOL. This guy is so confused, but states these generalities. Sad, really. And as I say, they're not listening. I was asked a question about black voters, and I answered it about that. I didn't say only dumb people. I didn't say the right wing. I was asked a question, and I answered that. And I know a lot of people were upset about that, but I will still give my opinion, and I will try and root it in the evidence that I have.
What have you got, Samara?
Beauty says, the only good thing about Simon is how he illustrates how some people's minds work, or rather, how they don't work.
Exactly right. By the way, Samara, aren't you looking forward to... I can't wait for the first episode of What Just Happened after the presidential election.
Indeed.
Simon's face as we celebrate a Trump victory.
Do you think he'll even show up?
It's like, no, he's going, I'm hoping Kamala will win. You remember, folks, she's going to win, she can't possibly, no one's going to vote for Trump.
Kev.
Suddenly, he's changing his tune.
Kev, you've said that Trump's going to win over and over again. I've said Kamala's going to win over and over again. I just hope the producer puts together a montage for the winner and the loser, and we see who comes out smiling.
You will only be doing that if Trump wins. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think we should both take a hit if we're wrong. And by that, I mean you. Samara, have you got any more lovely messages from our audience?
I do. It says, Cheek says, Simon, why is your chair so much lower than Samara's? Simon's actually standing up.
It's not that. What you don't know is, I told you before, everybody, he's actually standing up. Yeah. He's a dwarf. Yeah.
We say small person, but I'm not.
Dwarfism is a medical condition. You can say
dwarfism is a medical condition. Say small person.
Yeah.
God chose...
Person of restricted growth.
God chose Simon, says, Simon is always right. Kevin and Samara are two dumb blonde peas in a pod. Stop speaking on America and don't know shit about America, you dumbass Brits.
Time for a bad ad.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
The words of the Bible are a guiding light for the faithful. Now, the spoken word of God can be heard anytime.
And God said,
anywhere.
Let there be light.
Introducing Wonder Bible, the incredible Bible that speaks.
The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing.
Kids love Wonder Bible.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Ideal for the visually impaired.
You are the light of the world.
The spoken word of God can now be heard anywhere with the incredible Wonder Bible.
I don't know when that advert was made, but that looked like a kind of transistor radio from the 1960s or something.
The Wonder Bible.
Yeah, well, with all the ads we've had, it looked like a pager, and I was just waiting for it to explode in her hand.
By the way, incredibly, that was advert was made in 2017.
Wow.
Well, that was like a kind of a gadget from another age.
Yeah, in the world of MP3 players and everything else, it did look sort of a bit...
but that's the direct message to God there. So.
Anyway, folks, there endeth the lesson. This is the end of another fantastic episode of What Just Happened. My thanks, I think, to Simon London, the village idiot from hell, and of course the great Samara Gill. We'll all be back next week for another edition of What Just Happened. You better be there.